Good evening, good evening. This is Marie Holiday, and today is January 1st, 2021, the start of a fabulous new year. And 21 is going to be a great year. And, the way I look at it, it all depends on the person. It's just me speaking. 2020 was a good year. I've learned throughout my journey that you got to figure out a strategy plan to pull the positive out of any situation that may unfold in life, and I'm here to tell you. And if you have been following my prior videos, my 2020 was outstanding. I met my financial goals, got a lot of things accomplished. I wrote the book. I'm building my YouTube channel. I got a promotion and I seized the moment. So with that being said, let me just remind everyone to make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button so you can be notified of ongoing uploads. And I'm really excited for this channel for 2021. And I just want to remind everybody, my channel goal for the end of January 2021 is to get 100 subscribers. This channel now is currently at 66 subscribers strong. And I do want to thank all of my 66 subscribers who have supported and subscribed to this channel. And make sure you share my channel to one person you know, and because we got a lot of territory to cover, and I'm here to tell you. So with that being said, let's get down to this evening lecture. I want to talk about how to unmask a narcissist. How to unmask a narcissist. And if you are in a supervisory role on your job, pay attention. If you're dealing with a narcissist, pay attention. And with the tips that I'm going to talk about, the 7 tips on how to unmask a narcissist. Because I'm a supervisor on my job, and I have supervisors, many narcissists throughout my career and throughout my travels. So pay attention. And so how to unmask a narcissist, I'm gonna do this in like maybe 3 uploads. And I also want to remind the audience to check out my recent upload that I think I did yesterday on how to supervise a narcissist. How to supervise a narcissist. So check that video upload out. So with that being said, let's get down to business. The first thing that you gotta do before you can even begin your game plan as a supervisor or interfacing with a narcissist in any aspect of your life. But I'm gonna really gear this towards, how to unmask a narcissist from a supervisory standpoint. First of all, you got to know, in order to unmask a narcissist, you first got to be able to recognize the traits of a narcissist, indicators of narcissism. So you really need to check out my prior video where I really talked about the traits of a narcissist in depth and breadth. And I'm just going to give a brief overview on talking about some of the traits of a narcissism, whether it's male or female. First of all, a narcissism have no empathy. And what I mean by no empathy, they have no feelings. They don't care about or have no feelings. They don't understand the other person. Rather, it's a supervisor, co-worker, if they're in relationships. Narcissism, because it's a disorder, they do not have empathy at all. And I'm here to tell you. A narcissism in the workplace, make no mistake, they're going to always be creating chaos behind the scene. They're going to create havoc and chaos among their co-workers. They're going to treat their co-workers with disrespect and rude, and they're going to intimidate co-workers and sometimes supervisors. Narcissism wants to be important. They want to be unique. They want to be special. They want to be seen as the expert. Narcissism, they will deliberately try to align themselves with whoever think that they can use to manipulate to achieve their own agenda, their own goal. So those are just some brief traits of narcissism or narcissists. But do really check out my prior video where I go more into detail in terms of talking about narcissism and what those traits are. So the first step in terms of being able to unmask that narcissist, you got to understand and recognize that it's a disorder. You got to be able to recognize narcissism traits in a person head on when you meet them. I don't care if you meet them on the job or in a social situation, or when you meet somebody and you're in dating mode. Pay attention if they're giving you signals and signs of narcissism. Narcissisms are master manipulators, so remember that. So now, since I've gave a brief description on what a narcissist is, now I'm going to talk about some tips that I literally have used throughout my career as a supervisor. I'm in a supervisory role currently now. But number one tip, and this is very important, especially if you are supervising a narcissist. Don't take the bait and fight with them. Because when you do that, that's fueling, that's giving them power. They feed off conflict. They feed off confusion. So don't take the bait when the narcissist is trying to argue or create chaos. Don't take that bait when they're trying to fight or argue with co-workers or supervisors, because their agenda is to get you sucked in. And sometimes narcissism send these long emails making themselves look like the victim, accusing other folks of not doing their job, assassinating co-workers' character, assassinate the supervisor's character. Don't take the bait when they do that, because that fuels the fire, that feeds their toxicity, that feeds their negative energy. Because remember, if you are in a supervisory role, you do not have to respond to foolishness. You don't have to respond to chaos created by the narcissist or anyone else that you supervise. You don't have to explain the essential functions of your job to a narcissist. So don't fall for the bait, not at all. And one of the techniques I use on a narcissist that I supervise, when I can literally watch and observe this narcissist attempting to get a rise out of the co-workers, to get a rise out of the supervisor with that chaos and confusion. And all I do is sit and listen and observe, document behavior that ties into the essential functions of the job or conduct on the job. Because on jobs, there's policies and procedures in place that ties into professional conduct on the job. So I'm listening and observing and documenting and reporting in reference to that. I do not feed into chaos, not going to get a rise out of me. So that's the most powerful number one tip. Don't take the bait and fight with that narcissist. That fuels their toxicity, that fuels that negativity that they're seeking and that they want. Number two, understand their criticism for what it is. It's not about you. A narcissism, they're going to always got criticism. They're negative. They got nothing positive to say. You know, in my organization, we do a lot of in-service training by expert trainers who research the topic and who are great facilitators. And so, and staff have to attend this training, and I can almost count on the fact when that narcissist does their evaluation, it's going to be filled with criticism that facilitate in terms of assassinate the character of that facilitator. For example, that narcissist may say that facilitator has no idea what they're talking about. This training is worthless. I could have done a better job. So understand that they're going to always be given criticism, negative criticism in the workplace. And it's not about you. Don't take it personal. Just understand that that's part of the narcissist disorder in terms of one of the traits of narcissism. So like I say, the more you understand these traits, and especially as a supervisor, then that's going to give you the power to not respond to a lot of this foolishness. Don't let that narcissist get you outside of your character. When you stay calm and cool and collected, that removes the narcissist's power in the workplace. Number 3, as much as possible, keep the narcissist in an open platform. When you keep that narcissist in an open platform, that'll remove a lot of the power. It really does. For example, what I mean by in an open platform, for example, staff meetings. If you meet with the folks you're supervising, make sure you're pulling everybody together in those staff meetings. Make sure you got an agenda. Everybody here is hearing the same thing. Everybody, including the narcissist, everybody in that staff meeting got an opportunity to ask questions. As a supervisor, you're providing clarity. So use those platforms as power, because and the reason why, because narcissists, they will lie. They will lie and say that the supervisor didn't tell them this. They will lie and say that the supervisor did not go over this specific policy and procedure. They'll lie and say that the supervisor did not give all the people that they supervise a due date to turn their work in. But when you are keeping that narcissism in an open platform, you got these ongoing staff meetings, you got these ongoing where you're pulling that team together to make sure everybody's getting the same information, and to do that on an ongoing basis. Another way you can use an open platform, when you got to relay information to those who you supervise, you can put it in email, make sure everybody got the same email with the directions, with the due dates. So, because the narcissist, again, will lie and say, even lie on that supervisor and say, the supervisor did not give me this information, I was not aware of it. But if you're doing those staff meetings, you're utilizing the emails, you're keeping that person in an open platform in all communications, what that do is remove that power from that narcissism. And then in my field, we also do group clinical supervision, where we're meeting, where I'm pulling all those counselors together in a group process to go over certain clinical work as a team. So everybody's getting the same thing, everybody's getting the same information, and it gives me the opportunity to answer questions. So as much as possible, keep that narcissism in an open platform if you are in a supervisory role, and then document. You're documenting these staff meetings. When you're sending stuff in email, the evidence is right there. Even if they say they then got it, that email can be retrieved. So that's very, very important tip in terms of unmasking that are narcissists, in terms of keeping them in an open platform, and understand that criticism is part of their disorder. And when you know this, that'll help unmask that narcissist. Number 4, whenever you are communicating, this is a very important tip to unmask a narcissist. In all of your communications with a narcissist, make sure you're setting clear boundaries and using clear communication, giving them due dates and deadlines for the work. Make sure that is specific and clear, and you're also following it with documentation. Because that narcissist, remember, they are master manipulators. They will twist words. They will flat out lie on co-workers, supervisors. So in all of your communications with that narcissist, set clear boundaries. Make no mistake. Let it be very clear, and let that narcissist know this is my role as a supervisor. And make sure that's clear in explaining your role within that organization as a supervisor within that chain of command. Those are boundaries. You're setting clear communication in terms of due dates. And again, when you're doing this, don't forget you're also doing this in an open platform. So number 4 is a very, very important way that you can unmask that narcissist, because remember, they are master manipulators and they're allowing everybody. Number 5 tip in terms of unmasking that narcissist as a supervisor. Remember, as a supervisor, because that narcissist is such a master manipulator, as a supervisor, do not feel that you have to justify the essential functions of your job to the narcissist. And the reason why I say that, because that narcissist is going to make a deliberate effort in trying to undermine that supervisor, trying to challenge that supervisor, trying to question that supervisor, trying to bypass that supervisor to go to the supervisor. So when they're challenging you as a supervisor, or disrespecting you as a supervisor, acting like they don't understand the clear communication with due dates, then what you can easily do as a supervisor is just remember, you do not have to justify the essential functions of your job to that narcissist because you do not report to that narcissist. You can give the narcissist clarity on the chain of command. You can do that. But you do not have to justify what you do as a supervisor to somebody who you supervise, because you answer to your supervisor, not that narcissist. And because many times, when the narcissists that I may have supervised throughout my career want to challenge me as a supervisor, or try to bypass me as a supervisor, and they use that as a tactic to get out of work. They use that as a tactic not to meet them due dates. So whenever someone who you supervise want to challenge you as a supervisor, or ask you questions about what you are doing in relation to the essential functions of your job, or trying to task you as a supervisor, then all you got to do is gently remind the narcissist, friendly reminder, I do not have to explain the essential functions of my job to you. I do not have to answer to you. I answer to my supervisor. And if you need any clarity, feel free to go to my supervisor if you need any clarity in regards to those boundaries in chain of command. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. You're speaking very clear, specific. You say what you got to say, and then you refer that narcissist to your supervisor, and you walk away. You ain't got to go into a whole lot of dialogue, because whenever you're communicating on the times you do communicate with a narcissist, make sure it's specific, clear, you establishing those boundaries, you say what you got to say, and you exit. You don't have to engage that narcissist any further. That's it. That's all you got. And I do that all the time. And I'm real good at doing it. I'm very good at doing that. You know, the military taught me boundaries, chain of command, etc. So, and I tell a person, you ain't got to like me, you ain't got to drink coffee with me, but in the workplace, there's certain professional conduct, behavioral conduct that ties into policy in the workplace. And number 6, most important way to unmask a narcissist, because one of the traits of narcissism is they want to bully their co-workers. They want to bully their supervisors, and they use that as a tactic to get their way. They use that bullying the co-workers, bullying supervisor as a way to strike fear into people. They use that as a tactic to create chaos in the workplace, and they use that as a tactic to get out of their work. And so with number 6, don't be intimidated by a narcissist. You ain't got to be intimidated by a narcissist, because as a supervisor, one of your duties is you need to be spending a lot of time reading policy and procedure, consulting with HR, because I'm sure every workplace has a policy in place that covers professional conduct on the job. And where if a person is not showing professional courtesy to co-workers and supervisors, if they're intimidating people or verbally threatening someone or putting their hands on somebody, there's policies and procedures in place where you can document and report it. Because I always believe that pen is mightier than a sword. You ain't got to be intimidated by nobody. Absolutely not. You put that paper on them. You put that paper on them and you do a management referral if a person is violating policies and procedure. Because I said in my prior video, your focus as a supervisor, rather than narcissist or not, your focus needs to be on, are they performing the essential functions of their job? Are they adhering to policy and procedure that ties into professional conduct? That is what your focus need to be on, not on the narcissism personality disorder, because that's a mental illness. No, your focus need to be on the essential functions of their job and policy and procedure in that workplace. That's it. That's it. So do not be intimidated by narcissists. I had a particular narcissist attempt to raise his voice at me. And you know what I did to that narcissist? I basically looked at that narcissist in his eyes and I basically stated to that narcissist, the conversation is over. You are not going to yell at me. Bam! And I disengage. Because I know it takes two to argue. So I basically said what I said. I was very specific and clear. The conversation is over. You are not going to yell at me. And I walked away. I disengaged and I went on about my business. Because what that narcissist wanted to do was hoping I would stay there and engage in dialogue with that madness. I said what I said and I walked away so fast. I saw dust behind my feet. And you should have seen that look on that narcissist's face. It's almost like, but I want you to stay here so we can argue. I want you to stay here so I can suck you into my rabbit hole. And I took it a step further. Once I said what I said and walked away, of course, I recorded it, documented it, and reported it, that unprofessional conduct of the narcissist, to my supervisor and kept it moving. Because now what I'm doing is developing that paper trail. There you go. Because if it ain't documenting, it did not occur. So don't have to be intimidated with that narcissist. And number 7, remember, most importantly, and again, when you wrap your, in terms of being able to unmask the narcissist as a supervisor, remember, the narcissist has no empathy. The narcissist has no empathy for supervisors, co-workers. They don't have empathy for their own family. It's just part of the disorder. It's part of the narcissism personality disorder, which is a mental illness. So when you really wrap your mind around that as a supervisor in the workplace, that'll give you all of the strategic skills, all of the managerial skills to unmask that narcissist in the workplace. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help this channel reach its goal by the end of January of 100 subscribers. I'm at 66 subscribers strong, and I want to thank all of my 66 subscribers from the bottom of my heart for supporting my channel, for subscribing to my channel. I'm very excited for 2021. And with that being said, I hope you all have a great evening. I will be looking forward to ongoing uploads in the future, such as I got some future uploads. I'm going to do an upload on how to prepare for a promotional interview, which is a promotional interview is a very specific type of interview that you need to have some insight on how to prepare for it. Because if the audience is aware, in 2020, I got a promotion on my job, and it's some specific steps that I had to go through to prepare for the interview, to blow it out the water in order to get the interview. In order to get the promotion conferred. So be on the lookout for that upload. Also, I'm going to do another upload in the future on how to unmask the narcissist part 2. I'm going to do a future upload in regards to my 24-month trajectory plan to offboard in the state of North Carolina. I'm really excited about that. In about 24 months, I'm going to put my house on the market. And I want to share with the world on some of the steps that I've taken to be ready. You do not wait to the last minute when you put your home on the market. And also, I want to talk about in a future upload on the footwork, the work behind the scene that it requires to make passive income. And And you know, a lot of folks talk about passive income, but what they don't talk about is all of the hard work that they did behind the scene before that income can become passive. You know, if the artist is aware, in 2020 I wrote my book. One of my game plans is to get that book published this year, and potentially that will be passive income. I'm gonna get it on Amazon. As we move forward, I'm cultivating my YouTube channel, and I'm excited about that because when I go into full retirement, that channel will be fully cultivated, in which will be another form of passive income. But it's a lot of work behind the scene to cultivate your YouTube channel, to write a book, to get it published, to get it on Amazon. So I want to talk about some of the footwork and steps and strategic planning I did to get the book done, to be with my YouTube channel, and it's moving forward. It's grown for 2021. So I want to share some of that insight and knowledge. It could maybe to benefit someone else or motivate someone else to write their own book or to start their own YouTube channel. Because I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So with that being said, simplify, simple fidelis, and I will see the audience again next time. Have a great one.